Hi everyone, it's Thursday, July 11th, 2013, and I don't know how many days are left until Marc is home. So not just because of the breaking news lately, but because our website countdown clock is actually a few days off apparently. So it doesn't matter anymore because as of yesterday, we got word from the U.S. Department of Justice that Marc has been approved for transfer home to Canada. So that's super exciting news. What it means is the Canadian government now has to look at the application. And in fact, I have a copy here of what the application is. It's this pile of paperwork, and there's one page that just needs one signature saying that Marc can come home. And it can be signed really quickly and easy, except the public safety minister was Vic Taves, and he resigned on Monday. So on Tuesday, when we had the 1 year countdown that we were so excited for until Marc's early release date, we had to figure out who the public safety minister would be. And then on Wednesday, we got the news that he was approved. So right now, the person in charge of the public safety minister's work, like signing this sort of paperwork, is the Justice Minister. And the Justice Minister is Rob Nicholson. And Rob Nicholson was the man who signed Marc away in 2010 to be extradited to the US. So I don't know if that works in our favor, like Rob would maybe just sign it off and bring him home quickly, or if he'd like to try and punish us for I don't know what reason, but we don't really know, except that's who we need people to contact. So on freemarc.ca and soon on cannabisculture.com, we're going to have the people you're meant to contact. And we really hope to get a lot of support for this because Marc definitely has the majority support to come home. We just need it expressed to the people who make that decision, and that's the government here. So right now, it means that Marc still has a couple months to go in the US. It takes a bit of time for this sort of thing to be processed, and we don't really know how long it'll take for him to get back into Canada and out of prison. He's meant to serve a little bit of time here, but not really. He's already met his early release under Canadian guidelines. It's all very confusing because the Conservatives, in their very cruel, harsh, tough on crime punishment agenda, have made it harder for people to get out of prison early for their first time nonviolent offenses and all that. So we don't really know exactly how it's going to unfold, but let's just say it's the same as we thought before. Best case scenario, home right before Christmas, and that would be such a special treat. But at any rate, it's going to be less than a year. We're under a year. That's another big story to share anyway with all of you who have been watching the shows for so long. So that's very exciting. And Marc, even though it's been a difficult time for him with solitary confinement and his band kind of fell apart, he did get these 30 extra photos of his prison band playing in the prison studio. These were printed and in the prison's possession when they accused him of perhaps having a cell phone to take these very photos. So I've got them in my hands, and Marc was very happy there playing with them, but seems that the band is no more. Yazoo, the most popular band in Yazoo Medium Security Prison, Mississippi, United States of America, is disbanded. And now Marc's going to be coming home, so it doesn't look like they'll be getting back together, and hopefully there's never ever a reunion tour. So that's, you know, it's nice to have these photos, but it's also kind of, it feels a bit old to me. I'm so excited, looking forward to what's to come, that all this prison stuff, I just want to get past it. But we also have other exciting stuff going on the very same day. Marc is very, very excited about this. He's going to get a copy, and he has photos. I sent him already. But Fresh Magazine here in town, I told you guys last week, did an interview with me, and they talked to me about what it's like with Marc in prison and why we need to legalize marijuana and just things about being a woman in the world and all that sort of stuff, I guess. But I've never done a spread like that, and that's me on the cover to my great surprise. And there's this inside spread with an interview. I sat down for 2 hours and they interviewed me, and then they picked some quotes to go over some certain topics. And I think that the subject matter it covers is pretty good. I think there's a lot here, and I love the last sentence where I say, so when we get back together, Harper, watch out. And I'm just so happy it ends on that note because Marc is going to get back, and we are going to keep making a difference. And this is only available in Vancouver, but I did get 2 giant boxes full of it. So if anybody wants a copy or something signed by me, I guess you could have that. Marc told me, get a lot of copies so you can sign them for people. But, you know, I don't know what to do with them. They're just for the memory box, I guess. But it's pretty awesome because it means a lot when a mainstream advert or a mainstream publication that doesn't have anything to do with policy, they said that it took a bit of courage to put this out there and to have a political activist saying legalized pot in the pages of a magazine. But there you go, that's around the city, and maybe with the recent news about Marc getting out, people are going to see the name and go, oh wait, I just heard about that. And they're going to read about me talking about what it's like to not have my husband, and they're going to be very excited Marc's coming home. We have people all over the world sending messages, and on the street and just everywhere people are thrilled, and of course it's very exciting news. But again, we still need approval from the Canadian government, so we need your support. Now, I have 2 events coming up, and I'm really excited about them because I've been invited to speak at Olympia Hempfest. Olympia is the capital of Washington State, and of course I feel a very strong connection to our brothers and sisters down there in Washington who have legalized marijuana right across our border and who have been so kind and welcoming and supportive towards me and Marc throughout this ordeal. Of course, it was Seattle where Marc was sentenced and extradited to, and it was in Washington where Seattle Hempfest has been taking place for over 25 years. And they've always been so kind to let me speak in all the years that Marc has been gone. And first with the Olympia Hempfest, that takes place July 27th and 28th. It's a weekend-long event, so you'll be able to come by and say hi and possess your legal marijuana on the state capitol at this giant rally. So go to olympiahempfest.com and check out all the details there, and that will be something to see. Oh my goodness, it's hard to believe even that this is really happening. It's legal there. It's really surreal. But then there's Seattle Hempfest, the biggest and the best in the world. 3 days, 300,000 people going through the waterfront park, listening to speakers and music and being educated and celebrating our culture. And that's happening August 16th, 17th, and 18th this year. Go to hempfest.org. And I've been invited to speak again. Normally I speak every day, and I might be doing the same this year, but I have to admit it's very bittersweet for me because I've been going down there for a few years, and once Marc is home, you know, I won't be spending 5 days in the United States anymore the way I've been doing lately or every year with Seattle Hempfest. It's always been one of the highlights of my year to go down there, and there's just so much love and support, and I just feel so united. But when Marc's back, he can't go to the United States, and I'm not leaving him behind here, and he won't let me leave him for 5 days at a time. He's going to be all over me all the time. So it's kind of sad that this will probably be my last Seattle Hempfest, and that breaks my heart. But at least I'm going to be there for the very first ever legal marijuana state Hempfest in Seattle. That's something to see. It almost feels like it will be coming full circle, that Marc was sentenced there and his prosecutor changed and joined the forces to make it legal, and I met with him and I worked with the organization and we made it happen. And now that it's happened, Marc comes home less than a year later, or maybe exactly. Maybe Marc will come home on November 8th. Wouldn't it be crazy? Anyway, I'm just so excited, as you can tell. But I want to say a huge thank you to everybody in the United States who have been so warm and welcoming to me, being able to come down there and speak and spend time with you and be reminded of how we're all in this together across the border. You know, our fight is always the same. It's for justice and liberty for all, worldwide. And Marc will be back, and we'll be kicking butt, hopefully, and trying to keep making a difference in the world. So I hope to meet you guys at Seattle Hempfest. It's definitely something worth checking out. I mean, come on, the first legal one, you've got to be there. Check out hempfest.org and olympiahempfest.com, and definitely support any events or any organizations in your area that are working for drug policy reform, because Marc said, plant the seeds of freedom, overgrow the government, and you always got to keep taking care of those gardens. So keep growing, everybody, and we'll see you down there in Washington State coming up soon to celebrate. Free Marc Emery, Canada, I guess. Thank you, America, for sending him home. Thank you, Obama's government, for sending Marc home. I hope you'll do the same for all the other pot prisoners. And everybody else out there watching the show, I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Go to cannabisculture.com, pot.tv. You know the drill. All the info's all below. And I'll see you guys next week. Free all the prisoners.